30 seconds. All right, hello. We got 5 people in the room right now. And guess what? If it was just me and you, one other person, that would be enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Dederick, WOODARD, and I am the author of Discover You. And today's workshop called Discover You, we're going to be going over some things that helped me to get from a place of frustration. I don't know if you've ever been in a place of frustration in your life and you want to go from frustration to fulfillment. And that's what I did in a lot of different areas. And as I went through that process, I was able to identify a system. Okay? It was a system that once I was able to see that system, I was able to choose to apply that system as a strategy. All right? And a strategy is something you do. A system is something you can see. So you're seeing the system and you're applying the system. It's a strategy. You know what I mean? Like, well, let's see. That would have been me applying a strategy because I'm trying to do something. You know? And a lot of times, I realize that I have to fight for the things in my life that I love. And I don't know. Can you see this? Okay, that's my wedding ring. And I met this woman. She was phenomenal. Okay, she was at my cousin's book. My cousin had this African braiding shop. It was slashed like a bookstore with African trinkets there. Her name was Renetta Mobley. She was a part of the African American Council in St. Pete. Kind of was on the part that actually got it started. And she had this young lady. And I must say, she was looking so ooh-wee. And I went through this process to get connected to this young lady to make this happen. And so it was a thought in my mind. Some kind of way I got the courage to get it out of my mouth so I can get it in my moment. And that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the systems of the 3 points of power. Okay? And that's what we're going to talk about, the 3 points of power. One part of the 3 points of power, the first one, is the mental reality. All right? Being able to say what's going on in your head. What's going on? What you thinking about? You know what I mean? And so being able to identify your thoughts in your mind and how does that system work. Okay? That's going to be the first point of power that we're going to go over. The second point of power is verbal reality. And with the verbal reality, we're going to go through what comes out your mouth, why it come out your mouth, who it go to, you know what I mean? And it's like what's going on, the back and forth relationships that help us to be able to understand what it's like to be able to live in the verbal reality. And the third point of power is it seems easy, but for me, it's very challenging. It might not be no challenge for you, but for me, it be buzzing. All right? Because for me, the third point of power is physical reality. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound good.
Okay, all right. It's the third point of power. See, that was me checking in the physical reality. I was getting confirmation, could I be heard? You see that? Because I'm doing something. I'm like, okay, when you're doing something, you want to make sure that you're on the same page, that everybody can connect with what you're releasing. All right? And so today we're going to go through that process and see what it looks like. Now, I don't just want you to say, well, that's what he do. I want you to take on your mindset, your dreams. Okay? Your passions, your goals, your visions. I want you to say, okay, this is a system that I can utilize as a strategy to experience my dream. that? Now I told you, I saw this one young lady, boom, you see that? Bing, bing. That was because it became a physical reality. It wasn't just a mental reality. I got it out of my head, into my mouth, and into my movement. Now, she misses Woody. Because I switched gears. Hold on. I switched gears. And that's what you got to do. I like to encourage you. So today, that's what we're going to do. So if you should look right here, you should be able to see the first slide. The first slide is called mental reality. In my mind, I was thirsty. I was trying to identify how can I satisfy that thirst. And through things getting laid out where people can understand, so I can understand, I was able to get hydration. That's why I drank that water. Now, mental reality is a formula right here. It say dreams. You got dreams, all right? Your dreams, for me, I learned that my dreams are composed of passions, potential, and I really want them to become possibilities. You know, to be able to say, well, what does it look like when my dream is not just a passion? What does it look like when my dream is not just potential? When the two combine, what is it? How can I see this as a possibility in my life? You know, and go to the next point of power. And that's what I'm going to show you. That's what I'm showing you. You see that? That's what I'm showing you. Now your passions, I learned from me, my passions is things I want to do. I don't know if you ever been to the store and you walking down the aisle and the people that say, hey, try this, and you sample that little food, and you be like, I want to ask them for some more. You see that? It's a want to. I want to. Things you want to do. I wanted to talk to my wife before she was my wife. When I saw her, I wanted to say, hey, you know what? How can I get that out? You know? And so that's why I was working on how to shift gears, how to understand what is a passion versus what is potential. Now, the potential is dealing with the I can do, things I believe that I can produce. And so when I went from what I want to do to what I can do, see, it's just like going from passion to potential, because I know what I want to do. I know what I'm desiring, what I'm dreaming about, what I want to connect with. I'm like, man, I want that woman. She look good. And when I realized I wanted that so bad, I had to switch gears and say, I can have her. I just got to do A, B, C, D. And so when it went from a dream, the dream turned, when the passion and the potential connected, and it became a possibility. A possibility to me is another way of saying a vision. A vision is something that now you make goals for your vision. Because you say, you know what, I don't just want this. I don't just believe I can do it. I'm finna do this thing. I'm finna do this thing. And so that's what I did. You know, I decided I'm going to do this thing, and I took action. And I was able to switch gears. So I went from the mental reality to the second point of power, which is the verbal reality. Now, the verbal reality is dealing with mapping stuff. I got goals. And for me, growing up, my dad taught me that when you have a goal, you got to make a list of your goals so that you can make sure you accomplish your goals. Because if you don't make sure you accomplish your goals, you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you're doing. And so I had to make a list, because I didn't just want it to be a dream something. I said, okay, you know what? I want to do it. I can do it. I had to switch gears and to say, well, you know what? How can I do this? How can I do this? I had to make a list. I had to learn how to map things out. You know, I don't know if you know, I used to watch Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? Wow! It is a TV show I used to watch that would actually teach me the power of mapping out my actions, what I'm going to do, and mapping out what I'm going to do with my time. And so that became a part of my verbal reality. Am I communicating what I want to do with my actions? Am I going out looking for a mentor? Somebody who can do what I would like to do. Can you do this? Who's doing it? Who are the experts? You know, and so bouncing back with that sweet sweet, whoa, boy, she biting. I went to the point to where I had to find people that were successful with relationships. Identifying and establishing things. Because I said, well, how do I do this? What do I do? I don't want to come on strong. You know? Because I want sustainability. I don't just want to say, hey, how you doing? We'll have a great life. I want to be like, no, let's have a great life together. Yeah. And that's what I wanted. So it's like, it was in my head, but I don't know about you, but a lot of times I stumble, right? And I stumble with my words sometimes. If I don't get a chance to aim them and rehearse what I'm aiming and the way I'm aiming it. You know, and so that's what was going on. You know, my verbal reality, you know, I had my mental reality on hold because it was a vision. I decided that I'm going to do it. It's not just a possibility. It's not just a passion. You see what I'm saying? It's not just potential. It's all those things together. Bam, right? And so now I'm here. I went from up here to right here. It's coming out of me. I'm communicating. Boy, you sure talking your game, boy. I'm like, yeah, I know, and I don't just want to talk it. I got to prepare it so I can walk it. And that's what I'm trying to do. So I have to map out what I'm going to do and when I'm going to do it. Is that? You see. And so mapping out those things, okay, and understanding that these are my goals. Not just goals, G-O-A-L, G-O-L-D. Valuable. You see that? And the goal became the gold. It became the thing that was valuable to me, so it began to help me to be able to lay out what I'm going to do and when I'm going to do it. Because I was switching gears in my mind. And then I can confirm that my mind is different if I pay attention to my mouth because, okay, I got my mind, I got my regular mind, right? You got your conscious mind, all right? And then you got your subconscious mind, which is really referred to as the heart. You say, oh, I love her so much. Oh, no, I love you. I love mama. The subconscious mind is when you go deep beyond the conscious. It's things that take place when you are not even aware that it's taking place. Okay? So from the verbal, when you start speaking from your heart, they say speak from your heart, they say they want you to go to that deep place. And that's what I'm trying to ignite right now, us digging into that deep place. And how do we go there? And then we map it out so it don't just come out of our mouth, it come out of our movement too. And this is what we're doing. We're evaluating the verbal reality. And so I started evaluating my verbal reality. I went back, I talked to my cousin. I asked some questions. I communicated back. I listened to what I said. You know, we talked about it. Boom, boom, boom. She said, just go help the girl. Just do something. Activate it. Release effort on her behalf. And so that was my plan, to release effort. So I went out there, and she was out there. She had the booth out front. And so I was there. I was like, whoa. And I started telling people about this book. You know, don't call me crazy. I'm just in love. And I was like, look at here. I said, it's going to change your world. And I started to communicate that with people. And she already had people out there selling books. But I sold like 3 books. I was like, no, not 5. I sold 3 of them. Okay. And it was awesome. And it caught her eye. You see, my mind let me know I was interested in my passion and my potential. And then my mouth, it helped me to identify the actions I needed to take, the verbal reality, the second point of power. And then my time. And I gave my time. And she said, ooh, I like it when you give me time. That's what her actions were saying back to me. Because my time was connected with actions. And it was also connected with what? Time. And that right there painted the picture when the effort came out. But, you know, as that process took place, I was listening, I'm talking. Now, I want to let you know that the second point of power and the third point of power are interchangeable, okay? Now, and so that's why I said I released some effort, but then it's like, it was just me testing so I could see how I could move. Now, as we transition to the third point of power, from the goals, we went from the dreams, from the first point of power was dreams, the second point of power are goals, and the third point of power is dealing with effort. You see, it's dealing with effort. You see that? So I'm taking action, and I'm like, you know, I'm releasing effort, because I don't know if you've ever released effort before and it didn't give you the result or the harvest you was looking for. You know, because times before, in situations, I'm doing, and I'm supporting, and I'm doing all this stuff, and I'm not getting the return, you know, on my investment. And so, as I focused, I was getting, and I said, okay, how do I tweak it? And I started asking myself these things, you know, and so my action plan, I had a plan for my action. You see that? I had an action for my movements. You see that? So my movements, you know, I had an action plan, and I had action movements. And I started evaluating both of them. You know, at the time that I'm doing it, because I want to produce something specifically. I got a specific harvest I want. I want that. And see, when you fix your mind on something, you say, I want that. And you got to make sure that you're doing the things that's going to bring that return. And that's what the 3 point of powers helped me to do. My mind was right. My mental reality was doing good. I understood that, you know what, if I'm going to have my dream, you see, I got to be able to connect it with my passions and my potential so I can produce some possibilities. And now when I see the possibilities, I can say, oh my God, I got a vision. And it made me a visionary because I started aiming myself towards where I wanted to go. I don't know about you. Have you ever aimed yourself at something with just your mind? And then have you ever incorporated your mouth while you was aiming? And then have you ever went to the third thing and incorporated your movement? And see how all those things help it to go to the next level. And those are some things I'm learning. I'm like, wow, that's pretty awesome. You know, I'm like, okay, so now I have to learn how to make sure that I triangulate point A, B, and C, my mind, my mouth, and my movement, all at the same time on purpose. And so these three realities become one reality called me. You. Discovering the you. And that's the way I would talk to myself when I looked in the mirror. I'm checking my mental reality. I'm checking my verbal reality. I'm checking my physical reality. You know, how did I do? And then how can I do better? And that was the need for the coach. Because the coaches help you to improve. Personal trainers or coach, they help you to improve. You see that? You see? And so, as I learned that system, how to apply those 3 points of power, I apply it in other areas. Now I have a book called Discover You. And then now I have another book called Discover You Part 2. Why? Because I was able to identify the 3 points of power. I was able to evaluate those 3 points of power as I apply them and to redo it. And to redo it, y'all know how they make movies over and over again. You seen Carrie? You see all the movies, they make them over and over. They try to make them better. It's like doing the same thing over, but you evaluating, you know, how you did and how you could do better. You see those two things? How we did, how we can do better. And these are two things that we should do on a consistent basis because it will allow us to go from good to great. You know? Okay, I'll show you. It allowed me to go from, ooh, she fine, to, ooh, she mine. You see that? Not just in a relationship with our mouth, but we in a covenant. A physical covenant between two people. Bam. Now watch this. There's another type of covenant with you in a contract. You can get a job because you was able to align your mental, your verbal, and your physical points of power. You see that? And that allows you to transition into something, to aim your points of power. And that's how you can do what you want to do. That's in your heart. Live your dreams. Discover who? You. And every time when you look in the mirror and say, I'm going to discover you. You know what I mean? If you can hear what I'm saying right now, where it says start typing, I want you to say to yourself, say, I'm going to discover you. Say, me, I am going to discover you. Type it in right there. Type it in right there. If it's something you're willing to do for yourself. You know, like I'm going to discover hydration because I'm thirsty. See, look, while I'm, oh, water. Okay. Oh, hydrates. You see, you can't be afraid. Okay, we got a few minutes so I can explain this also. I realized for me, I was saying I wasn't afraid, but I learned something. Well, a lot of people like scary movies and stuff like that because watching people in fearful modes. And I learned for me, when I'm in a fearful mode, I'm paralyzed. I ain't going nowhere. And I don't know about you, but I'm tired. I got tired of not going nowhere. And so I said, well, I got to move. I got to feel the fear and keep moving. Be courageous. Marry your dreams. Feel the fear and keep moving. Feel the fear and keep moving. This is what you do when you discover you, because you can't discover you unless you're in the moment, unless you live in your dream, unless you become the visionary of your own vision. And this is what I'm saying. So every time you look yourself in the mirror, you want to say, I'm going to discover you. Dream, you ain't no dream no more. I'm going to make my goal list. I'm going to map out my time. I'm going to map out my actions. And guess what I'm finna do? I'm going to experience you because I'm a visionary. You a vision of mine, dream. You mine, dream. And when you claim that dream as a vision, and you become the visionary, which is the one who sees and shares the dream and shows the dream, then it's yours. You see, all the coaches are like masters. I don't know, I like the karate movie. Whoa! Right? Where they be blocking and stuff and all that fast movement with those karate movies. And in that situation, every disciple has a master. And when the disciple has a master, the master takes the disciple through the 3 points of power. Help you get your mind right. You must focus, young warrior. Get your talk right. Know how to communicate what you want, what you need, what you're going to do, what you expect to be done, your verbal reality, and your physical reality. Learning how to do the moves. You know what I'm saying? Boom. You knowing the moves. Your physical reality is there. And that way, you can take on the spirit of your master. See, it's not like a master-slave relationship. It's not just a master-student relationship. Like in the classroom. You, the teacher, the master, because they're teaching you, right? But then you got another master that's making students, which are not only students, but they're disciples, because they take on the discipline to be able to say, this is the plan. So I'm going to take on the discipline because this is the plan for me to become like my master, somebody who's living my dream. Empower me. Give me the first point of power, okay? Master, you already got it. Give it to me. Give me the second point of power. Let me learn the language, because you got to learn the language when you get ready to launch into a new area of your life. Then give me the third point of power, the physical, to walk it out. Because I don't just want to speak about it, I want to be about it. And this allows us to go from here to there, and from there to there. You see that? But it's not like boom, boom, boom. It's spiraling up. You see that? It's spiraling up. And that's what we do. We move, rise, above. You see that? You gotta rise above. That's what this whole, it is me talking about this, the whole thing is called rise above. Where you at right now? You know? I'm gonna rise above my thirst and hydrate myself. Oh, that's good. When you taste your dreams, when you're thirsty, and you taste your dreams. The dreams that you was thinking about, you can taste them in your mind. You use mental effort and you taste them in your mind. You use verbal effort and you can communicate them. And you use physical effort so you can experience them in your moment. Come on. I'm going to discover you. Hey, me, I'm going to discover you. I'm going to get into that dream. I'm going to discover you. And that's all I'm saying. Speak to yourself. You ain't crazy because you talk to you. It's called thoughts. Okay, I'll give you a good example. Somebody go to a restaurant, they like a store, waiting in line, and they're looking at the menu up there on the wall. They say, what should I have for lunch? Should I have this? Should I have that? They're not talking to their neighbor. They talking to themselves about what they're getting ready to consume. It's okay to talk to yourself. It's okay to respond. Because if you ignore yourself, who going to listen? If you don't listen. And this is what I'm learning. So, again, if you haven't had a chance to add your name, put your name down. Put your name down and say, I was here. I was here. Say hi. That way we'll know who is here. I can't see you, but you can see me. And that's what it's like sometimes when we want to live our dreams, we want to discover the you that we believe we should be. They can't see us. All the people who walk with a whole lot of excellence, we can see them, but they can't see us. They're on the screen. We can see them. Hey, John Maxwell, I'm watching you. You know what I mean? He's the guru in leadership. A lot of people watching him. But the people who's watching him, he might not be able to see them. Whoever's living your dream. See, I'm developing, submitting, I'm learning, I'm humbling myself, I'm becoming a disciple, and I'm saying this is the plan. I'm going to a coach, somebody who's living my dream, and I say, they're teaching me what the plan is. I say, this is the plan. This is the plan. This is the plan. And you have to have those people in your life that you're going to submit to and say, this is the plan. This is my plan. Discipline myself to do it. Because this is the plan. You got to discipline yourself if this is the plan. For your mental reality, for your verbal reality, and for your physical reality. Now, if you have any questions, please make them known over here in the comment bar. So we can respond to them and get to your questions. But I'm here because I want you to rise above. I want you to rise above doubt, disbelief, not being supported the correct way. I want you to get into a position to receive what you deserve to receive. But you got to decide. You make the decision that I'm going to release the effort and I'm going to receive the effort. So I just want to say thank you. Any questions, go ahead and put them in so we can address them. All right. I just want to thank you for being here. It's good. I don't know, when you're passionate about something and you have people in front of you that you can share a system, a way out of a place that you were stuck in, that you got out and you got into where you want to be, and it can help them to get into where they want to be. It brings you great joy. So thank you so much. You can type in right there. I don't know if you can see where Jonathan is typing in there, Johnny B. But it's on the side over here where it says chat. And you're going to click on that chat, that red dot, and you can type in right under there where it says start typing. It should be to your right. To your right. And you can just start typing in there. And then it's 2 points. It says event and it says session. And I think you can click from one to the other. Alright. And thank you. Thank you. Thank you, April. Thank you, James. Alright. Thank you, Natasha. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, PJ. Everybody makes it happen.